There's been a lot of venom from the Democrats over the Elon Musk-led Department of Government Efficiency. Take a listen to what they recently had to say, and then I'll show you a viral video response from GOP Rep. Eric Burleson.
Every time you hear DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, you just remember it is the Department of Government Evil. Over.
This is a recipe for corruption by the DOGE boys and this government.
This is like a bank robber trying to fire the cops and turn off the alarms just before he strolls into the lobby.
All right, well, recently GOP Rep. Eric Burleson out of Missouri played a video at a hearing about DOGE on Capitol Hill. As it turns out, this isn't the first time a U.S. president has attempted to implement massive cost-cutting measures within the federal government. Take a listen to the video, and I'll give you my thoughts afterwards.
And I want to remind my Democratic friends, at a point in which you once had the majority of the American people on your side, this is what your party believed in.
This report tells us how to cut waste, cut red tape, streamline the bureaucracy, change procurement rules, change the personnel rules, and create a government that works better and costs less.
I've read it, and where it says the president should, the president will.
Among the 800 recommendations, eliminating 12% of the federal workforce, merging some government agencies like the FBI, the DEA, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, closing hundreds of government offices outside Washington.
From the day I took office, one of the commitments that I made to the American people was that we would do a better job here in Washington in rooting out wasteful spending. We thought that it was entirely appropriate for our governments and our agencies to try to root out waste, large and small, in a systematic way. It means cutting some programs that I think are worthy, but we may not be able to afford right now. A lot of the action is in Congress and legislative, but in the meantime, we don't need to wait for Congress in order to do something about wasteful spending that's out there. We haven't seen as much action out of Congress as we'd like, and that's why we launched on our own initiative the campaign to cut waste. And we're going to keep on finding every possible way that we can do that, even if Congress is not acting. There you go.
So this was an incredibly shrewd move on the part of Congressman Burleson. He's merely pointing out that Democrat administrations as recent as President Obama's have favored these same types of cost-cutting measures. By undercutting DOGE, Democrats are standing against the same types of policies their own political party embraced. So the question becomes, if a DOGE-like approach to slimming down the federal government was a great idea under Presidents Clinton and Obama, then why isn't it a good idea under President Trump? The larger picture is this. You may not like it when people lose their jobs or departments get slashed, but isn't a little bit of pain in the short term better than a massive amount of pain 10 to 15 years from now when we default on our national debt and precipitate a global depression? Did you know, for example, that Penn Wharton recently came out with a study that said that if we don't do major cost-cutting measures in the short term, then by 2040, no combination of raising taxes or cutting spending will arrest the financial collapse of our nation. So whether the approach is called DOGE or whatever Democrat administrations have called it in the past, we need to cut the federal budget and slow the growth of the national debt. By the way, any realistic solution will involve a dramatic restructuring of Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Failure to do so will lead to cataclysmic outcomes within the next 15 years. By the way, Donald Trump has said that he will not touch Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid during his administration. So we aren't likely to solve the debt problem anytime soon, notwithstanding DOGE's best efforts. In fact, when we kick the can down the road on entitlement programs, we make the fix on the back end all the more severe and draconian. At the end of the day, I think the federal government will end up doing some cost cutting, but eventually taxes will have to go up. In fact, former Comptroller General of the federal government, David Walker, says they will likely have to double. I believe that tax rates are likely to rise dramatically within the next 10 years or so to pay for our exploding national debt. If you're currently accumulating money inside of an IRA or 401k, you may want to consider doing a Roth conversion while tax rates are still historically low. Pay for those taxes while they're on sale so that by the time tax rates do rise dramatically, you've done all the heavy lifting and can then take those dollars out 100% tax-free. I'm David McKnight. Thanks for watching.